It's Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
This is Tech for Senior Live. I'm Ron Brown. I'll be your host today. It is April the 11th, and it is the Masters this week. So if you're a golfer, you'll be hunkering down and watching the Masters this weekend. Want to talk today? We're going to talk about not golf, though. We're going to talk about the news of the week. We are excited. There's a whole bunch of great news, and we have a very experienced panel today to discuss the news of the week. But maybe you're wondering who the heck we are. Well, we're a group of seniors that like to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, right? We talk a lot. And so we thought, well, we couldn't do that all on our Monday show, so we decided to have a second show, which is the one on our Thursday. But for those of you who haven't seen our Monday show, we have a lot of fun. It's not it's a Zoom meeting, though. You get to actually meet us in person and talk back and forth and do all sorts of fun things. We've been doing it now. This is our 5th year. So we have it every Monday. So you're most welcome to come if you haven't seen. I'll just put up our website here. The details of the Monday show and where you can find to log on are all there under the Tech for Senior tab. Just go there and it'll give you the Zoom meeting link, and you can come into the show and have some fun with us. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you don't, if you come to the Monday show and you're now on our Thursday show, we can't see you. On the Monday show, we can see you, but on this show, we don't. And so we really appreciate it if you put something in the chat or comment, and we'll talk about that. We always play the comments back. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to talk about, put it in the chat, and we would be more than happy to talk about it, because at least we know someone's listening. But sometimes, I guess, we've never had it happen, but I guess we could just be talking by ourselves. So we'd talk for an hour and we go home, right? Well, we're home anyway, right? So we don't have to go anywhere. So anyway, we're going to have, so that's it. So we have our Monday show and our Thursday show. Now, the other thing is, we do a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of things happening. We have a big YouTube channel, and we keep everybody posted by our newsletter. So if you haven't signed up to our newsletter, www.techforsenior.com, just go there, click the link, and you can sign up. And we will send you an ad-free, well, not quite ad-free. We have 3 sponsors for our newsletter, and we have, it comes out twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and it will tell you all our agenda and all the happenings at Tech for Senior. And believe me, we do a lot of different things, so it's a busy one. Now, I want to tell everybody about a special show that we're doing, not this Monday, but the following Monday on April 22nd. We had a lot of people ask us about a landline, a home phone. Do you still need a landline or a home phone, or what's all that about? What are your alternatives? So we're going to do the whole show all about, do you need a landline? What is a landline? What are your alternatives? And that will be occurring on April the 22nd. So if you do want to, if you're interested in that, that's a topic that you're concerned about, then please come to the show, and we will we'll be able to help answer those questions. Now, as you know, we record, I was going to say tape, but I always everyone gives me a hard time when I say taping, because that means I'm an old guy, because we don't tape anything anymore. But we digitally record and store it in a video format on YouTube. How's that, guys? Is that okay? Digitally record on am I doing okay there?
Yep.
And we now are so we do that, and so you can play it back. So you can do that. So that's great. So put something in the chat if you're there, if you're out listening, so we know who is out there. Now, let me just, I'm just going to just take that off and bring us up. So now you're probably wondering where Bob is. Well, we'll get to that in just a minute, but let me introduce our crew today. We're, of course, one short, but for of course, you probably, the person needs little introduction, because he's the co-host on our Monday show, a man by the name of Huey Popluck, who lives in a faraway land on the other side of the country, in a little state called Florida, in a tiny little town called Bradenton. And he's a long way away, and through modern communication, through the internet and VoIP and all those things, we can actually talk back and forth. Right, Huey? Can you hear me?
Yep. And the string isn't even as tight as it should be.
That's right. That's right. So you did something that was really cool. You sent me a video this morning, which you didn't record, but it had your voice in it. That was pretty amazing.
It's getting to the point now with AI that you can actually have your voice as a digital memory, and it can then put in whatever you type in your voice instead of using one of the AI voices that are out there. It does the same thing with your voice. And I did that this morning to try it, and it worked out so good. I'm going to have fun with it.
So maybe we just don't need to be there on the Monday show. We'll just keep our voices going.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that's sort of cool. That's interesting. And you've got a WinSig this Sunday, right?
Yeah. Saturday, I'm doing JJ's group in Waukegan, and then that's Saturday. Sunday, I'm doing the WinSig. Monday, of course, we do Tech for Senior. Wednesday or Tuesday, I should say, the next 2 Tuesdays, I'm doing an Ollie group in Arizona, doing a couple of presentations. So I'm full up.
Busy. That's good. Keep busy. That's great. Well, it's as seniors, we want to keep busy, right?
Yep.
And of course, all right, let me introduce our next guest, a man, actually, again, who needs little introduction. He's been with our shows pretty much since the beginning. He's also well known because he is the president. Not only he is the actual president of APCUG, which is the Association of Personal Computer User Group. Now, Ray, how many people get that right? And he is also the treasurer. So not only is he the president, but he's the treasurer, holds all the money. He also is our music director for the show, because he talks all about music. He actually helps form music clubs all across the United States, and he's really involved in music. And so we appreciate all the work he does on his show, on our show on Monday. So he's a very popular part and a very nice guy. We're so happy to have Ray Baxter with us. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ron. I like how you said before that you're really doing your best not to use the word tape anymore. So based on that, I want to officially welcome you to the 21st century.
Well, yeah, I was just tape things, right?
and now we have to.
You're not alone. I hear that all the time.
Ray, now we have to get them, instead of saying we're going to talk about the news, we're going to talk about the tech news.
Oh, tech news. Yeah, tech news. Yeah. Well, it is too. And I had my, as I was putting some of the articles up, I had to slap my hand today because I said, no, it's interesting stuff, but it isn't really technology. Although I did sneak one in on goats. So we're going to talk about goats today. Now that's
actually that's very technical.
It is technical. You'll see how this all works out, but goats are going to come up.
Okay, so. I can't wait.
Huey, do we have anybody out there listening to us?
We sure do. And first one to sign in this morning was
Bernard from the Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan, 47 degrees. Excellent. Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 46 degrees and overcast. Richard Clarkson, good morning, 63s in Southern California. Have a great day. Thanks, Richard. Liz Milford from cloudy Ohio, 65 degrees.
And before we go to the next one, it's 80 degrees here in Bradenton. It's only going to 82 because we're going to have a rainy day. But I asked Miss A what the humidity was. It's gone down from about an hour ago. An hour ago it was 92%. Right. Now it's only 87% relative humidity. That's a lot of moisture in the air.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, while everyone's got their hands on their keyboard putting in the chat stuff, if you could just hit that like and subscribe as well, that really is helpful just for the channel and everyone. Just click that like and subscribe, and that works out really well. Any more, Huey? Mike Saunders. Hello, Mike.
Mike's the one from UK.
UK, yeah. Richard Clarkson also going up to 87 later on. Ooh, later on. Wow. Dick Vogel, good morning and good afternoon, depending on which time zone you're in. Fit into, yeah. Sally Ann, expecting nice sunny day on Saturday, Kirkland, Washington. Geeks on Tour. Hi there from Geeks in Oscar Shearer State Park in Nokomis, Florida. Oh, really?
They're right down the road for me today.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's, of course, Chris and Jim are part of the Tech for Senior group, and she does a fun with photos every 2 weeks. So welcome to the show. JG, beautiful day here in Arcadia, California. There you go. Geeks on Tour, not far from Huey.
Yep.
Indeed. Mike Lehman from Moncton, New Brunswick, where it is 7 degrees. They're still got cold weather there. Hopefully it's going to warm up sometime on the East Coast. JJ, 51 degrees on Waukegan and rainy. Stan Wallner, Orlando at 75 degrees with heavy rain and winds expected from 2 to 8 p.m. Richard Clarkson, Arcadia is right next to me.
Good.
Well, we're one big happy family, right? Everyone seems to be close to everybody. And I suspect Chris and Jim are in their RV, and they're probably in a campground listening to us on 5G. That would be pretty cool, eh? Amazing what
And Ron, I want to remind people, there's these are all people that we're familiar with because they're either on the show on Monday and on Thursdays, or one or the other. But there's a lot of people I'm sure that are out there that we have never been introduced to, and we'd love to have you sign in your name and just say hi and where you're from. Don't be shy. We can't see you, so even if you're in your PJs, don't worry about it. Just say hello and where you are.
Well, it's particularly interesting for people who are in England, Germany. We've had people from, I think it was someone was from Spain once signed in once. I mean, it's really interesting, the people that are listening to the show. We have a big replay on this show. It goes out quite a wide distribution, and it's interesting to see all the parts of the world that actually watch the show. They listen to us, you guys. It's really
it's a lot of fun seeing it. It really makes us feel good.
But we got to get to work and do some work here, because people didn't come just to listen to us yak away here. They want to get some information, right? So I wanted to bring up there's some really interesting news this week. And I wanted to start with 2 articles, and then we'll get into all the news articles, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the one that I wanted to talk a bit about today was this one. And this is the one where Android phones finally get their first AirTag trackers. And this is an interesting, this just came out. And this is Google. This is put out by Google. And the network is called Find My Device Network, and it's being launched in Canada and the United States this week. And there's 2 Bluetooth trackers that are going to come out that will be accessing this network, and we'll talk about those in a minute. And this is called Chipolo and Pebblebee's Bluetooth trackers. Now, we're going to talk about this, but everybody probably knows about Apple's AirTags, right? So if you got an Apple, you got AirTags, and that's okay. But then there's the Android side of things. And for Android, we've always used Tile, T-I-L-E. We'll talk about that in a minute. But now this is new. This is going to be a new network, and this is called Find My Phone Network by Google. And it's going to be open source, so any company can be involved with this. Now, this so the device network. So just let me tell you about this. The device network has finally landed after a year-long wait, and now the service's first AirTag style trackers have arrived to help you track down lost valuables with your Android phone. The big benefit of Chipolo and Pebblebee's new trackers, which come in tag and card form, is that you can attach them to valuables that have no Bluetooth connectivity and track them in ways using Google's new Find My Device app. This new network anonymously uses Bluetooth and proximity data from millions of Android devices worldwide, starting in Canada and the US this week, which means you can find your items' precise location on a map using Find My Phone app. If it's lost somewhere nearby, you'll be able to tap and play sounds in the app to trigger a sound or emit an LED flash. So that's sort of how this is going to work. Now you're going to say, well, Tile did that, and they did, but that was a proprietary network. In other words, Tile only worked with Tile, right? And you needed Tile. And I'm sure Ray, did you ever, Huey said he never bought a Tile tracker. Do you ever have a Tile tracker?
No, Carol had one. And
yeah.
I don't even remember the brand name that she used briefly. Yes.
Yeah. They've been around for a long time. And so anyway, but then, the price of these is going to be, Chipolo has launched the 1-point tracker, and it's going to be $28 for keys, and its flatter card point tracker will be $35. Both use fast pair to quickly connect your Android phone and have an IPXS rating to make them splash proof against rain and drizzle. Chipolo says these will start shipping on May 27th, although the first batch now is sold out, and the second batch won't ship till June the 10th. So these are going to be very popular. And again, if you have an iPhone not you're going to use AirTags. They're just going to use Apple's. But this is really for Android. Now, these won't be the only devices outside Android phones that you'll be able to track using the Find My Device network. The Eufy Smart Track Link and Smart Tag Card are also coming for Android, while the Sony, and it lists it there, and all those headphones will also soon get support in software updates. Google has also said that the Pixel Buds Pro will be added to the network as well. Now,
Ron, is there a cost for the network on top of the cost for for the item?
No, there's no cost. Wow. No cost to the network. And now, so what's going to happen to Tile? And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I just bought a Tile for my car. I was going to stick it in the car. But despite being on Google's list of brands that would make trackers for the network when it originally announced in 2023, Tile has told Android Authority, and this is where the article came from, that its focus currently lies elsewhere, notably with Life 360, which acquired in 2021. Life 360 builds itself as a family locator app, which means it's broader than Google's device finding network. So it's not going to be involved in this, and so we're going to see where this goes and how this all works out. So but I want everybody to let you know.
I was going to ask, is one for finding items and the other one is for finding people?
If you have the card in your wallet, it'll find you, right?
Yeah.
If you have it clipped to your dog, or put it in your luggage, or put it in your car, then it'll find those devices. So it just depends. There doesn't matter which it is, but it comes as a card and it comes as a clip-on device.
Now, do you see a map? And that's how you know where it is, where something is?
Google Maps. It'll be on Google Maps, and you'll just drill down on that, and it'll show you where it is.
So those of us who are elderly and are forgetful, and we sometimes lose track of where we are, we could carry it on ourselves and then bring up the map so we know where we are.
That's a good point. You could do that too, or you could give it. The big problem, I suppose, would be is if you had someone with memory loss, or they were going out for a walk and they had a bit of memory loss, and they had the tracker on some device they had with them, then you'd be able to keep tabs of where they are as they were traveling around. So and people put them in their luggage for sure, because of course you're not likely to get your luggage when you arrive at your final destination if you take an airplane trip now, right? So
there's an app already, and I used it when we did our 7,000-mile road trip last September. It's called Where Am I?
Right.
And more than once I didn't know where we were, and I had the app tell me.
Hold on. I gotta turn this off.
And I'm here today along with.
I can remember when I was much younger and still up north, so it goes back into the 60s, when I was a little intoxicated and driving, which I shouldn't have done, but I did back then. And I was in some small town. I had no idea where I was. This could tell me.
Yes, that's where it comes in handy.
Yeah,
and then for those people who have suspicions about their other half, can stick it on their car or in their car somewhere, and we'll always know where their other half is.
And those are the devices that will be coming. Those are this is the Apple AirTag thing, and this is the Chipola one.
Considerably a little larger.
A little bit larger, yeah. So just want to let everybody know this is brand new, just came out this week, and this is Find My Phone is the app that will be there, and you can download that if you're Android and download it off the Play Store in Canada and the United States only right now, and this just got released. So I wanted everyone to understand that and understand the difference. So if you have a Tile device and you're using it, it's not part of this, it's not part of the system, it's a different system. So just as long as everybody's aware of that.
I just want to add that I've used the Google Find My Device for a while now to find my phone.
Right.
That's been around for a while, and I like it because it makes the phone ring, even if it's been misplaced, usually in the house, of course. And The other features are, if I really lost it outside of the house, I could secure the device or even do a factory reset right from my computer.
Yep, absolutely, for sure. So lots of good applications for that, and I expect this will be very popular. Well, the first round of the devices have already sold out, so it'll be popular, but only for people who have Android phones, because otherwise you're just going to use AirTags with Apple, which work just fine. Okay, now the second one that I wanted to talk about, we talked a little bit about this earlier I talked with Ray and Huey. Now I got this came out in my email about 3 days ago. I have Gmail, and I don't have a paid version. I don't have paid workspace, but I do have Google One, which is I pay Google some extra money for storage. And this came out, and I was sort of shocked when I saw it. It said, try AI feature built directly into Gmail and other apps for 2 months, no charge. Get access to helpful features like Help Me Write, Gmail Docs, and also there's a lot of features through Docs and Sheets and Slides and all that sort of stuff. Try it, no cost. So I clicked, I want to do a video about this, and I clicked on it, and nothing happened. So I thought, typical Google, right? Like, I mean, come on, Google, like, what the heck? And then I went to Google's site and tried to figure this all out. And Google is really a very confused company, or I'm confused. I don't know, but I'd like to know if anyone out there had this. Now, Ray didn't get this, but Ray doesn't have Google One. And
No.
I wonder if this was just sent out to Google One customers rather than going out to everybody. Now, the next day I got this. Now, this is at the bottom, as you'll recognize this. This is the bottom clipped off my Gmail, right? And you'll see it says send, and it's got all these little things. And then you'll see, of course, this, I don't know if you can't see my cursor, but it's right to the right of the A, the character A there. You see a little pen, and that is what you click on to bring the menu up above. And it's AI writes things for you. So if I said, if I said, invite Ray for dinner, it would create a whole letter to Ray and saying, Ray, do you want to come for dinner? And it could be formal, elaborate, short, and I can do all sorts of things with it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that AI will do and help you while you're writing that. So and apparently this is also involved in and also Slides and the other Google products. It is, so the first 2 months are free. Then it's, guess what they're going to charge, as everybody else does, $20 a month, right? It's all, everyone's always $20 a month. And I think this is probably Gemini. I think this is Google's Gemini that they're doing with this. So I wanted just everyone to know, if you did get that message, please put it in the chat so we can discuss that, and let me know in the chat if you have Google One. I'm trying to figure out who got that message and who didn't. So when I do my video I'm going to make about this, I can figure out who the audience is, because I don't think it went out to everybody. I don't think it went out to all Gmail users. Anyway, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know.
They have a habit of when they get something, they roll it out in groups, so not everybody gets it at once.
That's true. And Canada is usually last. So why did I get it first? That's that's why I'm thinking it may be the Google One thing. I don't know. So if you're out there and you got that message, please let us know. I'm curious as to how I got that. And I'll let everyone know how this happened. Like, it's free for the next couple of months, and I'll see if it's worth the $20 I may be paying for in the future. So we'll see what happens with that.
I was going to say, Ron, I'd like to think I'm the best person to prepare an email using the words I want to use. And I would spend more time coming up with a prompt. I could be halfway through my message by the time I did the prompt. I can, though, see this concept working well for people where English is a second language, and therefore they want to put it proper. Yes, but if for me, I'll never use it.
Well, the other thing that might happen as well with this, I would expect with AI, you could probably say, take this message and change it to French, change it to Spanish. If you're doing international,
Different
it
languages,
would be, I'm assuming you'll be able to do things like that, quickly change it to a different language. And that's where the AI will really come. If you write something yourself and you have it all done and you say, well, I want to send it to my office in Spain, change it to Spanish.
Exactly. That's where it's perfect.
Yeah, it'll probably work out well with that. So we'll see how it works. I mean, I was sort of excited to be able to get this for free and play with it. And then I couldn't figure out why I got it or what it does. So come on, Google. Like, can't we sort of get our act together? Anyway, that's just Google. All right. Huey, any other comments before we get into the news? Mike, Mike's here. Mike is a good friend of ours. He does a lot of shows. He does a lot of presentations on our show, largely around solar panels and EV cars. Major storms expected in Florida this afternoon and evening. Yikes. Geeks on Tour, we're camping with a group of road trekkers. Murray Strom this morning from Victoria, BC. Yes, Murray, welcome. And Deb Shannon, storms in Pinellas, Florida.
Pinellas.
Sorry?
Pinellas County.
Oh, Pinellas County, Florida. Lost power, but back on now.
Yeah, Pinellas is just north of me.
This isn't going to turn into a hurricane, is it? Is it a hurricane?
No, it's a little early for hurricanes.
Mike says, unfortunately, I lost my wife's keys and my Chromebook this week in Oxford. He should have had a tracker on them.
I don't know what's worse, losing an expensive Chromebook or your spouse's keys.
Yeah, I know that's a dicey one. Yeah. Bob Baxter from Bellevue, Washington, 47 degrees and heading for 56. Diane from Leesburg, Florida. Supposed to be storms today. Yeah, you guys, Florida's getting a lot of.
Yeah, we're getting some storms today. Yep.
Dot Cushway bought a set of 4 Samsung Smart Tags. Work great, tracking suitcases on recent trip to Mexico. Lots of features. Exactly. People put them. I don't think anyone goes anywhere without these in their luggage. I mean, you never know. The only problem is, Dot, what happens if your luggage ends up in Germany and you're in Mexico? At least you know where it is, but it doesn't help you. Jolyn, welcome. Greetings from the Low Country of South Carolina. Welcome, Jolyn. Jolyn, of course, is helps us a lot with our shows. She works tirelessly in her computer club and doing tech support. She is the techie of all techies. So if we have any tech questions, Jolyn certainly helps us with them. Diane says, thank you. I think you answered my question. I already have the tiles, probably 3 or 4. So this is a new system, right? That's correct. So the tile will work, and it will. I assume for a while I don't know that they have any indication if they're going to stop producing tiles or stop their network, but tiles will only work with the tile network. So this is an open standard, and you will see all sorts of different companies adding these devices to that network. Mike Ungerman, I was one of the first beta testers of Proton Mail. I was one of the first beta testers of Proton Mail. I've stayed with it, and I'm a paid user now. It's worth a relatively small annual amount for their features. Exactly. Jolyn, yes, I signed up for the... Oh, you did. I signed up for the AI options. I use Gemini quite often. The new icon you mentioned has appeared also in docs, sheets, and slides. Right. I would assume Jolyn probably has... she's probably a Google One member as well. So that's probably why you got... Yes. I have Google One, right. And Workspace individual. That's right. Yeah. So that's why we got them. Steve Parker, Mike, do you use Proton Pass? Not sure what Proton Pass.
It's a password manager.
Oh, okay. John says, I have free months and have a choice of disabling it if it doesn't help. Yeah, so Jolyn, keep in touch. I'm doing the same thing, and I'm going to sort of reevaluate it in 2 months' time and see what benefits there. Maybe if you find some benefits, that you send them along to me, and we'll see. Well, we've got to get going on the news articles, you guys. Mike says Steve Proton is a backup to RoboForm. still not ready for prime time, in my opinion.
Good.
All right, let's get on with the.
There's still more, but we'll come back to them.
Okay, we'll get going because we got to get going on this. Let's have a look here. We'll bring this up. So for those of you, by the way, for those of you who, so if you want to follow us along, this is our Facebook link. Just type in Facebook anywhere, just type in Tech for Senior, and it'll bring you there. And then you can follow along with the articles as we look at them as we go along. Okay. All right. Let's have a look here. We'll come down. I'm going to just refresh here in case and see, make sure we've got them all in order. Let's come down to the first one. Ray Baxter.
Okay.
How did you get to be first?
You're
always first. You're always first.
I showed everybody how to do it. You just schedule your. I do them a couple of days earlier and schedule. Anyway, the point is, the Moment 5 update is taking place with Windows 11, and this article mentions the top 5 features. And often I'll get an update, and I have no idea what's actually in it. So I really found this article interesting. It talks about voice and narrator improvements, AI suggestions for snap layouts, which I use quite a bit, magic eraser for photos, improved sharing of files with other nearby devices, and more Copilot goodies. So quite a bit in the Moment 5 update. So it's definitely a worthwhile article to read if you want to take advantage of these new capabilities.
Yeah, we're going to go more in depth in that at the Windows SIG on Sunday. I've got several articles that talk about some of the new things that are available.
Good to know.
Let's come down here.
All right, that's mine also.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Google Cloud Next, and there's a major computer conference going on right now in Las Vegas, and it's not CES, but it's called Google Cloud Next Conference. And if you guessed that the dominant theme was going to be generative AI, you'd be right. The article lists the 6 key takeaways from the conference, and to be sure, this is really aimed at enterprise clients, but an interesting read nonetheless, because it confirms the role of AI now within the corporate world.
Interesting, eh? Very 16. Yep, interesting. Oh, you saw this as well. This was
you and I. So here's what the article states: Roku has just launched a free is the operative word here, OS update for all of its TVs that adds new features like dynamic picture refinements, improved content browsability. But here's the one I like the best. It's called it's similar to Samsung frame style backdrops. And that item is going to replace on the TV screen, the black screen, when your TV is turned off and not in use, with actual artful photos and designs. Now, the way I read it, Ron, older models like the ones you and I have will be given these updates in the coming months.
So Ray, when I read this morning, I read it as well. I put it up as well. I went racing out to one of my many Roku TVs, hit the button, checked the system, went down to look at the what version I'm running, and I'm running version 11 now, and it said my system is up to date. Now this is version 14, so I guess the question is, when are we going to get this version?
Well, the article uses the words updates will be available over the quote coming months. So that could be 4 years.
I know. I thought I was so excited about that. I love the idea of having being able to use the pictures, like using it as a digital picture frame. Oh, that's great.
Absolutely. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, and I as I said, I sprung off my chair. I don't spring off my chair very often, right? And I went racing in and hit the system and looked at what version I'm running, and it was 11 point something. I thought, what?
I should look at mine too to see that.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. I thought, well, maybe. Oh, this is. Let's flip over to Huey and let's see here. Go down a bit, Huey, onto the next. There you go.
Okay, so here's what I liked about this one. This is a cyber attack that targets targets. Say that fast 3 times. So typically you read about cyber attacks against computer hardware and software companies, But this time, the bad guys went after the company that makes computer accessories like laptop cases and mice and keyboards. But I just wanted to be able to say, cyber attack targets Targus.
Okay, thanks. I just come back over here, and Bob just has a great video out. This is navigating Bob's of course not here today. He's off, but he put it's a great video out, navigating the digital seas, a senior's tech guide to tech savviness. So anyway, Bob, thanks for doing that. And I know he's listening to the show, but he's otherwise busy. Now we already talked about this. Android's phone finally get their first AirTag style tracker. We've already discussed that. If you want to go into the article more in depth, it's right there. At Tech Radar. This is the one, of course, that Ray just discussed. Roku OS 13. Now, there's one thing that's very interesting, Ray. As you know, I have mostly TCL Roku TVs, right? But I did buy last year, I bought an Amazon, right? I bought an Amazon TV. It doesn't use Roku. So it has their own operating system, it has their own system. So I'm not sure if I like that. I really like the Roku feature. So we'll talk more about that. That's maybe
a Fire TV.
Yeah. That's it's not Roku. So I'm not so pleased with that, but we'll talk about that. I might make a video about it. Let's come down here. This was one that Bob did using AI to make life simpler. I'm going to actually play this on our Monday show, so don't watch it if you're going to watch our Monday show.
Okay, I promise.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's a good video. All right. Huey.
We missed a few, and I'm not sure why.
Did we? Do you want to bring them up?
Yeah, I've got the first one here, and it was from you.
Oh, yeah.
About your favorite place.
My favorite place, Costco. So Costco is selling gold bricks, like real ones, and they're making $100 million a month on selling bricks, and it's 200. Costco's gold bars are apparently raking in $200 million every month, and they're selling gold bars.
I wonder, any idea how much a gold bar sells?
It's not like it's not like I think it's not like one of the big bars. It's a little bar. It's like a tiny wafer, right? I don't know. I don't know what their bar. The article says it, but it's not available in Canada. I haven't seen it in Canada. I'm at Costco all the time, but I thought that's so interesting. Did you know that? Did you know that they were selling gold?
I had one, but I peeled off the gold and there was chocolate inside. Oh.
And what was the other article, Huey?
And this was
this is Apple made. This is when I posted. Apple's made 14 billion worth of iPhones in India as it shifts away from China. So it is. I think it was 15% of their total worldwide production is now done in India, and they certainly are moving completely out of China. And it's just interesting to see the shift of technology. And I think we're caught up. Yeah, we talked about that one. Yeah. And I think we're down to yours.
Yeah.
We're down to yours. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Go ahead.
I thought this was interesting. Texas is replacing thousands of human exam graders with AI, and it's going to save them a ton of money. But they're using AI in grading papers in the statewide mandated and required testing.
So you can't use AI to create the papers, but they can use it to mark the papers.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to get that right. All right. Okay. Actually, we got to go over to you for the next one.
Yeah, there's a funding shortfall forces FCC to slash the monthly broadband benefits in May. I happened to be one back in January was the first I heard about this, or the fact that I might be eligible for it. And so I did put in, and I'm getting $30, or actually it's $29.99, I think, a month from the government towards my internet. So when I applied for it, I also found out that I can get what I was getting from my ISP even cheaper. So I saved $30 from that call, plus the $30 that the government's paying me. So I had my gigabit internet at $29.99 a month. And that's what it is right now. But at the end of the month, the money dries up that the government had for this. And so it either is going to, that $30 is going to dry up. But what it's saying in this article is maybe for a short period of time, we may get a reduced amount, probably about $20 off. Okay. And then if the government, if Congress approves it, then it'll go back up to 30, but it may eventually go away.
Okay.
And this one, I know Mike uses Proton Mail and so on, but Proton just bought an encrypted notes app. So now they're adding to their, besides having a password manager and email, now they're also going to have some kind of a note app that is quite well protected.
And then, of course, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, well, somebody had mentioned they wanted to know whether it was safe or not to use a Wi-Fi on an airplane. This article kind of explains what you should and shouldn't do.
Right.
And I just wanted to make sure that I got it in my arsenal, in my 23,000 notes that I have in my Evernote.
Now, I think you put this one up as well, Huey. Apple is developing personal robots.
Yeah, Apple is working on, instead of having a car come out there, one of the things that they're talking about is they're going to have personal robots. And their desk size, I guess, to begin with, they're fair, because it's Apple, they're not going to be cheap, but they don't do anything. You pet them and they look at you and they keep you company. And, I don't know how many people are going to want to spend money just to have a companion that's about the size of a Chihuahua or smaller.
All right.
I think I'd rather have a Chihuahua, except you don't have to clean up after it.
Ford delays some electric vehicles, focuses on hybrids.
Yeah, and I mentioned this when we talked before the show, that many of the car companies that have been manufacturing EVs are actually going back to focusing on hybrids, because the EVs are not selling well. They've got parking lots and huge lots of trucks that are EVs that are sitting there because they can't sell them.
So I have to tell you about, I don't know if I told you guys this, but the Bolt, that's GM's smaller EV car. They were going to discontinue them. And our dealer here in the Valley, in Comox, got about 16 of them, and they all arrived. And he lined them all up on his lot, and had the news there and everything. And they had all these lined up. He sold them all in 2 days, and they were, with all the incentives, they came down to about $35,000 for an electric, the electric vehicle. And I guess if you make cars that people want, it's going to be good. And so I guess GM has decided now they're going to remake or reintroduce the Bolt as well. So lots happening there. Best Buy Geek Squad say they are hit. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Probably yours, Huey.
Yeah. Geek Squad just laid off. I think I saw it was like 600 people from the Geek Squad. And some of them been with them for 10 years or more.
Oh, really?
And what they did is they started telling them to stay at home, and that they would work from their home. And then they sent them out an email saying that they were no longer needed.
Wow. Well, I was in Best Buy the other day, and here in our Valley, and man, there was nothing in the store. Like, the thing was bare. There was nothing in it. It was really weird. So hopefully Best Buy is doing okay. Huey, Microsoft really? Oh, we talked about that. Eh?
Yeah, we just talked about that, and I'll be talking about it more on Sunday. Yep.
Okay, and then of course we have your WinSig.
Yep. And that was my news. That's my newsletter. So you might want to read that and then sign up for it.
Okay. This was an interesting one. This is really for younger kids, but this is, and I'll just go into the article here. This is if you've been feeling lonely over the past few years, you're not alone. According to 2023 report, the Surgeon General, about half the U.S. adults reported feeling lonely even before COVID. And so this new app called Buffett is aiming to address the loneliness epidemic by helping users meet new people quickly and matching them with person-to-person and a meetup place. And this was a brainchild of Buffett CEO Rich Hacking. And so it's not a dating app. It's a meetup app. And I thought it was interesting. And and they age match you for whatever age but it's more towards younger people. But I thought it was an interesting app.
And since I'm in my 80s, I may sign up for it, but instead of an 80-year-old, I want two 40s.
You want two 40s. This is interesting. And then we'll get to, Huey. Then we're going to get to doing some of the comments today. Google brings AI-powered editing tools like Magic Editor to all Google Photos user for free. So all the things that we've been talking about, particularly Chris has been showing us with Google Photos, like the Magic Editor, are going to be free for all. It used to be just for the Pixel phone, but it's going to be free. This big announcement this week, and it will all work universally now. So let's deal with some more of the comments before we roll along here a bit more, because it's going to get time is going to get short. Gary, I'm in Canada with Google One, but no AI icon in my email creator open. Okay. Steve Parker agreed. Betty says in Clearwater, Florida, it's heavy rain, tornado warnings beeping on my phone every little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, that noise you heard earlier was my weather radio in the living room going off, so I muted myself. But so there's something going on. I didn't hear what it was, but the weather radio is giving me some warnings.
Richard says, I'm a Google One subscriber and have the AI feature in Gmail. Oh, okay. So Richard, are you using it? What are you using it for? What do you think? Is it worth it, or is it going to be worth $20 a month? It'll be interesting to see what you use it for. Jolyn says, hey, Richard. Jolyn, I'm watching. So Stan says, I'm watching the Facebook page where the closed captioning is working very well, still not on YouTube. Richard Clarkson, just checked my Roku streaming stick, 4K, and it's not available yet for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Geeks Wireless, greetings, Troy, Michigan. I just subscribed. I'd like to thank you very much for your channel and helping seniors with technology. I really appreciate you. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. JG, Amazon, Fire Table with
should be Fire Tablet, probably.
Tablet. 1 ounce each. Oh, this is the Costco gold. 1 ounce each at about $2,000 each. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So don't eat them, Huey. Don't eat it.
Okay.
Amazon has a tablet called Fire with its own browser called Silk. It is compatible with the Android. I bought it because it was cheap and I use it as a Kindle reader predominantly, right?
Yeah, I bought one for Robin when she was failing, and she'd never used it, so I still have it. But it was less than $100, I believe, and it's a pretty nice little tablet. So if you're looking for an inexpensive tablet, take a look at the Fire tablet.
Mike says bars of gold are usually 1 ounce, 24 karat. I purchased some U.S. gold, buffaloes from Gold Broker, some for family gifts and some for investment. Hey, can I be part of your family, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you adopt me?
Friends. I sent you a Christmas card. Geeks Wireless at school use AI to check reports submitted by students. Will AI call out reports prepared by a? Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Great
Yeah,
question. Great question.
yeah. Goodbye, gentlemen. Have a great day. Tuning in from London. Well, there you go. Thank you for listening. I'll keep my two. Richard says I'll keep my two
Chihuahuas.
Chihuahuas. Yeah,
Chihuahuas.
that's from that article that about the pet that Apple's going to come out with.
Right. I don't feel lonely. I have tech for senior to keep me busy and
And
informed.
Thanks,
Richard. That was such a nice
Thanks, Richard. That was that's you get a couple of brownie points for that one.
That's right. Chris says not exactly free for those Google editing features. Magic Editor gives you 10 saves per month to get all you need the Gemini $20 plan. Or I wonder if what I just signed up for in Google, I think that's the same thing, is it not? In Gmail, it's going to be $20. I think that's the Gemini plan as well.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out because otherwise it's $40 total. Wow. And we're caught up.
Oh, that's good. All right, let's get back to the news because we got a bunch of stuff to whip through. This was big. This was a big one. I know Bob's going to talk more about this. AT&T notifies regulators after customer data breach, and this is a big one. And not only is this really big, but it also involves social insurance numbers. People are having, this for some reason, and this occurred quite a while ago. This breach wasn't recent. I can't remember exactly, but it also leaked social insurance numbers. So this is probably one of the largest data leaks that's in the history that's going to go down. This is a big one. And there's also massive lawsuits and all sorts of complications, and all the states are upset about this. So not good. Did Bob do another video? Yeah, that's another video from Bob. Because I want to keep going quickly here. Here we are. This is the one that Magic Editor and other AI tools are going to be free for all Google Photo users. But although Chris says that it may be limited to so many edits per month. And remember, this is another article. Don't expect Tile to launch Find My Device network supported trackers. So this is the ones we have, which are Tile, but they only work on the Tile network. We talked about that earlier. Another video by Bob.
This one looks interesting.
Yeah, I put this article up just so that you can how to use Google's Gemini AI to draft that perfect email. If you do have this service and like Richard Clarkson has, and you might want to figure out how to use it, this talks about the prompts and things that you can do with it. It's pretty cool. But I'm not going to go into the article. It's just there. If you want to go back and look at it, you can do that. Now I just want to keep going here. Yes, this was an article, the most popular smartphone brands in America, and the most popular in the US. These are the most popular smartphone brands in the US. The graph breaks down America's most popular phone brands. But I wanted to, what I wanted to say in this article, and there's another one coming up, is that don't rule out Motorola. Motorola sells 40 million phones a year in the United States. They make great phones. We always talk about Samsung, Google. We talk about the expensive phones, but Motorola makes some absolutely great phones. And they're a third the cost, so don't rule out Motorola. I know that Costco has Motorola phones all the time. Please don't rule them out. They're great phones.
Ron, one of the things that I was in a discussion with somebody just recently is a lot of people are buying iPhones because it's easy to say and you're used to it. It's a lot of money. And most of the people who buy the iPhones, all they use it for is to check their email, look at Facebook, and maybe play a couple of games where things slide down and you really don't need a big, an expensive phone to do those things. You might as well pay for something, pay a much lesser amount and get either a Motorola or even one of the other brands that are out there that are just a couple of $100. You don't have to spend $1,200 for a phone.
That's right. That's a true story. Now, this is something that's so cool. I wanted to get to this app. Google's phone app will soon let you look up unknown numbers. This is going to be a biggie, a built-in competitor to the likes of Truecaller. You can look at the article, and this is not available yet, but it's coming out in the Google's phone app, and you'll be able to look up numbers. It's like a reverse lookup that you can do to find out who's called. I think this is going to be super exciting.
And as I understand it, in the phone app, you just click on the phone that called you, and it will look up who it was.
Yeah,
I have found at one time you could type in anybody's phone number in Google, and it actually would give you a list of, it would tell you whose phone that was. It was like the old telephone books that we used to have when we were kids that they don't have anymore. Yeah. Then for people complain to the fact that privacy reasons, so they cut out almost all telephone numbers except maybe in lists of those numbers that the bad guys were using. And what I've noticed lately, a couple of times I've gotten phone numbers or phone calls from somebody, and I just typed in the phone number in the search box in Google, and it did come back and tell me who it was. So they may have eased up on looking up phone numbers. So you might want to even use Google to check on that. Sometimes if you get a call from someone, you're not sure whether you know them or not.
Huey, do you have the S20? Do you have the Galaxy S20? Or do you have the
I have a 22.
Oh, you have the 20. So anyway, so if those of you who still have the S20, Samsung made an announcement this week that they are going to extend support for the S20 series, which was good news if you have an S20. Again, this was Google's Find My Device goes live in Canada, which is great. Pixel 8 coming up. It's going to be a great phone. As typical with Google, before they release it, they're leaking stuff all the time. So the worst guarded secret on the internet is the Pixel 8. And that's because, of course, it's coming out shortly. So you may want to look at that. We'll be talking a lot more about that. Yeah, and this is the other article about Motorola, new one. The Motorola Edge is coming out on April 16th, an announcement there. This again is another Motorola, which again are great phones. You need to pay attention to those.
I think you missed one.
Well, we're almost
we're almost done. I just try to get the last couple of these in, Huey. Apple 10 watch coming out. Apple 10. I personally would skip the 9 because of some limitations of software that they've had. Definitely, if you're thinking about an Apple Watch, wait for the Apple Watch 10 to come out. It's going to be great. And Kobo announces its first color e-reader. So if you're interested in I don't know if e-readers are important to be color, but Kobo will have a color one.
And we have some final comments we want to get to.
Yeah.
As well.
All right. Well, let's I'll stop sharing. Let's do the final comments before we go. John said, I used Motorola phones for 10 years until I finally pixeled myself. Geek Wireless, will Google phone app tell me where they are calling from too? Don't know about that. It's going to tell you the phone number. I don't know that. I can't answer that. JJ says, I have an iPhone because it's user friendly, unlike Android that gave up years ago. Friendly is worth the money. Mike Saunders, I have a Motorola phone and I love it, but it only got one main OS update. Yeah, that's the problem. That is it. That is definitely nice when we have our Pixel phones. We do get the monthly updates. Mike says, my deal on my Pixel 8 last fall was full refund of purchase price after 24 months. So no new phone for a while. Indeed.
And we're caught up.
And it's also time to go.
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
I can't talk. You guys, I'm exhausted. I can't talk any faster. We're going to have to make this a 2-hour show, you know.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for coming and listening to us. I see there's 60. I mean, we had a lot of people in the show today. It's pretty exciting, right? And we wish Bob well and look forward to Bob next week.
Be back.
Great. You have next week off. It's the third. Is it the third Thursday?
Oh yes, I will. Thank you for reminding me. I might have showed up by mistake. Yep.
Oh, I got a music outro for you. I'm going to email you when we're finished here. I'm going to send it to you. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you've chosen yet, but I got a good one.
I have
you.
not actually. So
okay.
I appreciate it already.
I got a good one.
Good.
Jolin says, thanks, gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Mike says, click the like. Yeah, like and subscribe is great. Deb says, thank you, guys.
Right.
Thank you. And we thank you for listening. And I want to thank Huey for coming. And I want to thank Ray as well for coming. Thank you so much. We'll see everybody for our show on Monday. And if, as I said, it's a Zoom meeting, please come and enjoy. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then the following week, don't forget, is our special, which will be Do You Need a Home Phone? We'll all be talking about that. It's a special we're going to have for you. Please, if you're interested, come and listen to that. And we'll be here next Thursday with Bill James. And Bob will be here hopefully on Thursday. He's well. Don't worry, Bob's not sick. It was scheduling problems, so don't worry about anything. He's fine, and he'll be here, of course, on Monday, but he'll be back on next Thursday. So thanks, everyone, for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.